A few years ago, I moved into a quiet suburban neighborhood. It wasn't fancy, but it was peaceful, with wide streets, friendly faces, and a strong sense of community. I bought a house with a large backyard, planning to turn it into a beautiful garden. For me, it wasn't just a house, it was a dream. But dreams can quickly turn into nightmares, especially when you have the wrong kind of neighbor. My neighbor Khalid was the kind of man who thought the world owed him everything. Loud, arrogant, and constantly looking for trouble. At first, it was minor stuff, parking his car in front of my gate, throwing trash near my yard, blasting music at midnight. I let it go, hoping he'd change. But then, he crossed a line I could never forgive. One morning, I noticed construction workers digging near my backyard fence. Confused, I walked outside and asked what was going on. They said, "Your neighbor Khalid hired us. He says this part of land belongs to him." I was shocked. That land was legally mine. I had the papers, the measurements, everything. Yet Khalid was trying to push the fence back, stealing nearly 6 feet of my property. When I confronted him, he smirked. Land disputes happen. Who do you think people will believe? Me, who's been here 20 years, or you, the newcomer? That was the moment I realized I wasn't just dealing with a bad neighbor. I was dealing with a thief. I took my documents to the local council, proving the boundaries of my property. They agreed with me, but Khalid wasn't done. Every night, he'd sneak workers to shift the fence. Every morning, I'd push it back. Soon, it turned into open hostility. He spread rumors in the neighborhood that I had bought land illegally. He threatened me, saying he had connections who could make my life miserable. He even dumped construction debris in my yard to intimidate me. I was angry, but I didn't want to fight him physically. No, I wanted to destroy him in a way he'd never recover from. Instead of losing my temper, I started documenting everything. Photos of workers trespassing, videos of him arguing and threatening me, copies of legal land maps, signed by the council. At the same time, I pretended to give up. I stopped arguing, stopped moving the fence, and let him think he was winning. Little did he know I was preparing the perfect revenge. After a few weeks, Khalid had fully taken over the 6-foot strip of land. He even built a small shed on it, boasting to everyone that he had expanded his property. That's when I filed an official complaint in court, attaching all my evidence. When the inspectors arrived, I didn't stop them. I let Khalid proudly show off his new shed. But then, the inspectors pulled out the official maps. The shed was 100% on my land. Khalid tried to argue, shouting that the maps were wrong, that I had bribed someone, but the evidence was undeniable. Court ordered Khalid to tear down the shed immediately at his own expense, pay a fine for illegal construction, cover my legal fees for wasting my time. But the best part, the judge ruled that Khalid's behavior was harassment and issued a restraining order. He could no longer step foot on my property again. The neighborhood, who once thought Khalid was powerful, now laughed behind his back. His connections were useless. His pride was shattered. Within weeks, the shed was gone, the fence restored, and Khalid was humiliated. He avoided me in the street. His arrogant smirk replaced my silence. And me, I sat in my backyard garden peaceful, victorious, and finally free. When someone tries to steal what's yours, don't fight with fists, fight with brains. Khalid thought he could bully his way to more land. Instead, he lost money, respect, and his reputation. Revenge isn't always about anger. Sometimes, the sweetest revenge is making your enemy destroy themselves with their own greed.